What's up with the YouTube family? Back at you like I'm mad at you, but who am I kidding? I'm glad you're here. I want to share this video with y'all, man. Like something that just came to me, man, that was very significant. Something that I just had to say this, man, because it had really been on my mind to share. And I really come to this realization more and more every day that I cannot do what everybody else do. I'm capable of doing anything I put my mind to. Listen to me. You are capable of doing anything you put your mind to. But there are some paths in life that you are just not allowed to commit to in completion or fulfillment. There are some things in life that your creator will allow you to touch it, right? But it will not allow you to keep it. I'm talking about certain paths in life. I'm talking about certain roads. You'll be able to jump in the car and get off on the exit, right? But somehow at a certain point, the road start turning and it's taking you a different route, right? Because in some ways, for some reason, you are not allowed to stay on that road. You are not allowed to stay on certain paths in your life. And I want y'all to stay with me because this right here, I've been wanting to share this. This is just some of my thought process. But I told you with this channel, we just getting warmed up. But I had to come to the conclusion that I done been challenged over and over and over again in life when I have attempted certain paths, right? For certain paths for purpose, right? Like this it right here. It was a time where I was in the streets. It was a time where I did this, I did that. I've been in trouble, out of trouble, right? I done been into music, making music. I'm in the literatures. I like to write. I like to, I got where's my book? I got a book on Amazon. I like to write poems and things like that, right? But you can take your gifts, pardon me, your gifts and your talents, and you can use them for this or that. So we already know that, right? You can take your gifts and talents and you can intend to commit them here or there. But for some reason, more and more it comes to me in my life and in my life experiences, and I'm sure this is for many of you watching this video, that you're only going to be able to do so much or go so far on a particular road before that road starts curving. Hear me clearly. This is not a doom message. Many of you are designed and created for a particular essence in the world, for a particular reason, for a peculiar reason. And this is whether you religious or not. I'm non-religious, but this is really you, no matter what you believe. And I'm finna show y'all how this don't have nothing to do with what you think. You could be an atheist and it's apply to you. It's apply to you. If you one of them, it apply to you. I had to come to this conclusion more and more in my life. Like, man, many things that I've attempted to do in my different paths that I've attempted to take, I've only been allowed to tread that path or walk that path only so far. And maybe many of you have had these same experiences if you had not already recognized this reality. Or maybe you have, it'll come to you that many of us are created And we are created for a particular reason or specific, and we have a, I'm gonna say, our creator won't let you go but so far. So here was the examples, and we're gonna get into the meat of it, right? But check this out. Let's look at, I hadn't thought about this, man. I'm telling you, like we're gonna go off into it, but I hadn't been in the field. Like I've been times where I'm like, I thought I was gonna put, I was looking for my reason, my purpose, and like over time, over years, like it was the time I thought I was gonna be in the streets, and one day that was gonna be my future, right? I was just gonna be one of the big homies in the back in the neighborhood, right? Then obviously I kind of like it didn't take time for at a certain point my mind grew out of that. Those were much younger years, right? And then I said I'm gonna do, maybe I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna get, be successful, get rich over here in the music industry or something. Then, so I ain't gonna be necessarily just a big homie in the hood, but I'm gonna go back to the hood. I'm gonna go back to this, and I'm gonna commit my talents and my gifts here. Then there's times where I say, okay, well maybe I'm gonna go, you know, um, even with like when it came to just thinking about, it could be religion, it could be just thinking you're gonna be some family, person alone. Like I'm just gonna be the at home wife, or the husband who just who takes care of his family at home. Like you are created for a particular reason, and we are not all the same. We're not all the same. We are not all the same. I'm gonna show you something in 1 second, right? I had to, it's almost like wrestling with God. The Bible said wrestle. I don't want to intentionally wrestle with God, and I ain't got time. Ooh, Lord, I'm over it, right? But I realized in time in life, different things that I attempted to do, different things that I have set out to accomplish, or what different directions I attempted to go. Like, okay, I'm going to go this way. Okay, I'm going to go this way. Like, cause it was almost like wrestling with God over the years, right? Many of you are spread out. Many of us across the four corners of the earth, and we have different beliefs, different religious perspectives. We have different worldviews. We have been split up so many different ways in attempt to divide God's house, right? In attempt to divide the Creator's body. That's why I'm telling you, it's gonna apply to you. It don't matter where you at, what you think about life. What if you're a 5% or a Muslim, or you believe in the Lord, you whatever it is you're into. You could be in the mob still, like you still playing with in the field, like a certain kind of way. You belong to a certain creator. And when you realize that, it don't matter how you find yourself out there, either your path gonna get straightened or it's gonna start curving. Now, and let me share this with you. Look at look at I looked at, as I try to assume my path in different times in life, right? I have thought processes, like I observed certain people who I knew, certain men and women, or mostly, guys who I knew was like me in a sense, right? You look at these paths, when you look at what they all ended up getting, it's the same. Like I know, like when you look at the entertainers, like the Nipseys, the Tupacs, the Malcolm X's, Jesus, right? You look at um, you look at even actors, right? Actors. I know guys who stayed in the trenches, like they committed their talents and their gifts, and they like, this way I'm going out with my gifts and my talents, right? I'm talking about gang chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all know about certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like the Angelos or the list goes on as far as, even the layer. I mean, I don't even want to get off into, no specific names with the cheese, because people gonna look at these stories and be like, oh no, this happened to this person, and no, this happened to this rapper, and all these people got it to it, and all this what happened. All it's way bigger than the scenario that took them out. Hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. This is way bigger than the scenario that took these people out. When you look at the dogs, when you look at this list goes on. We could talk about, we can even go all the way back to JFK. Like, this list goes on when you realize, I know guys who stayed in the field, like, and they still got the same kind of little situation if they had not diverted in time. Like, if you choose to try to stay out there on a path, or you stay on this road, and you seeing and maybe it's signs that tell you get off this path. Y'all remember how Pac was looking, all due respect to Pac and what he stood for and all that. But you remember how he was looking like on them last days when he was in that BMW. You could tell he was looking like he knew it was time for him to divert. But if you wait too long to get off these paths, right, or to get on the path that it don't matter. Like, some of y'all are saying, I'm gonna go be an actor. I'm gonna go be a artist in this way. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. Many of y'all have goals and intents. Some of y'all like love your neighborhood and where you grew up at when you was a kid, and you like, I want to go back and show them what it's all about. Like, if you don't realize who you are and get off the path that is not designed for you to stay on, right? It seemed like it'd be like similar results. The only how it seemed to me that people, those men and women like me and you, survived is if they were in God's shelter. Meaning, Psalm 91, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. I'm not talking about the small g. The Most High, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High shall rest under the shadow of the Almighty. And you can look at different people right now and you think to yourself, no, I know people who ain't really like, I guarantee you in some sense or another, if they still here, if they still, it's different stages. Everybody on different stages. Some of us just getting started. Some of us got off the path we wasn't supposed to stay on already. Some of us in that process where they better get off, they better realize who they are and what path they can stay on. Because here's the thing, you can do anything you put your mind to. Understand that. God will let you jump in the car and get on the road, right? But don't mean you're going to be able to stay on that road. See what I'm saying? You could do anything. I'm sure this. I know your kind. You could do anything you put your mind to. But you are of a particular design. And your creator is particular. And it's only so far he'll let you just totally be just let you be, commit your time, your gifts, your talents, and your energy. Commit yourself in a way that he or your creator is just... Listen, some of these things the Bible talk about is really not about this man on the cloud. Of course, we pass all of it. We understand all these things in 25, right? But I want you to know that some of what is... And this ain't about... people, make religion out of books and make religion out of information and all that. That doesn't necessarily mean what it is. And many of you who may not, who've been told like this and that is phony, this ain't real, they cap it to you because everything they into is based around what the Bible talking about. But anywho, my point is that many of you that look at the book or talk about sinning and certain sins, you be like, oh, this stuff, we gonna go to hell. Some of that stuff is not, to me, it's not even necessarily about somebody on the cloud saying, I'm gonna get you when you get up here. Yo, yeah, you messed up. I I believe that it's traps set out here. It's traps set out here for my creator's people, right? His children, right? His body in a sense. And that it's really telling you don't do this because it ain't good for you. It ain't got nothing to do with me being salty at you when you get here or me being feeling I'm finna send something at you. It's really like, listen, you can't go that way because you don't know who you are. But they do. See what I'm saying? You want to go here, hang out and do this and do that. But when you realize who you are, you see why I said don't do this and don't do that. It was really to protect you, right? Because you don't know about the landmines, metaphorically speaking, that you might be stepping on, or you might be having to walk through or navigate, right? So this is where it's gonna get a little more in depth. When I'm gonna show y'all something because I gotta share this with y'all. This is something I've been thinking. It's just been amazing in my mind. Like, man, I just cannot do what everybody else do. I done tried. He'll let me get. I can get started. I can get going. But if I'm not doing what I'm created to do, or kind of like, like many of y'all might not necessarily be doing exactly what you created to do, but you might not be in opposition to it. You might be fine. But if you're in opposition to it, you can't stay on that path. Look at all these names. Think of the entertainers, the rappers, the people you know on the street. It didn't matter. Cause I thought about this so many times. I've been through mental challenges trying to find my path. And I'm like, I done been on certain paths already before. And I got results. Every time for me, I touch certain, it's like touching that stove. It was burning me. Burning the crap out of me. Like, what the? Certain things I did for the first time, man. The second time, I wasn't able to, I don't know how to say this, but even my first relationship, like serious relationship and stuff, like, I just could not do what everybody else did. It was like touching that stove, that hot stove. And I'm not saying this to put fear, no fear at all in you. But for you to know you are peculiar. Many of you are very different than others, although we all may look similar in these skin suits. I want you to know you can't do what everybody else do. You can't necessarily stay on paths and roads that everybody else travel. If you get on that road because you just, have to get on, take it so far and get off and I'm telling you. And here it is that's going to get more in depth on a certain level, like on a certain scripture. 1 Corinthians, right? I got this. I want to share this. 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, right? I'm talking about the Bible, We can come from all kind of different books, but right now we're in the Bible, right? 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 39. Because this many of y'all, you out there, you into the YouTube stuff and you into stuff and you don't, and you thinking you just what they call it free spirited or you think that I don't know what you think of yourself. You tell that story, but I'm telling you that many of you are children. We already know light. Like many of us understand that common denominator, right? Light. But I assure you that it's something very more, much more significant to how we relate and how, and I mean, when I say relate, I'm talking about the root word of relative type thing. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 39. All flesh is not the same. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. Now check this out. I'm just telling y'all, like, because people try to make it like we just all one human race. Some of y'all feeling targeted and y'all feeling all kind of like challenged in the world that you don't fit in. It's a reason for that. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Yeah, don't pay attention to my shade. I know I need this shit. Don't pay. Listen to what I'm telling you. It's a reason for that. Some of y'all feel like, yeah, I'm just different. I got all, and so we say, you are chosen. But for what? Abundance is your birthright. For you to do what with it, right? There are all celestial bodies. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. But the glory, check this out, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. You know what I'm saying? There is one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon and another glory of the stars. For one star differ from another star in glory. So that's chapter 15, verse 39 and 41, right? And it's more to, I wanted to give you pieces of that as well as I wanted to give you some scripture behind what I'm talking about, man. Because I've been knowing about this scripture for some years now, but at the same time, like it take me time sometimes prayer and thought process. It take me to meditate on things, think on things for it to really for that profound, for understanding to set in. Like you can have knowledge and wisdom, but your understanding comes from the source. We get that, right? So I'm just telling you, man. Some of y'all, it's way beyond you just being chosen for something. I'm gonna cut the cap and the crap with you. It's way bigger than you just being chosen for a lot of money to come in, man. Many of us, and we'll see, like as many who cross the, around the world who, especially we get to meet each other on YouTube or platforms like that, like podcasts, and we get to share the same spiritual drinks with some. The Bible talk about spiritual families, like they drink the same spiritual drinks and eat the same spiritual foods. You know what I mean? Man don't live by bread alone. So we talk about spiritual drinks and foods. We're talking about information, right? Formation. That what forms the inner you. What you feeding off of, what you hear, right? What you read, what you believe in, forms the inner you. Information, right, soldier? So I'm just letting y'all know, like, it came to me like, some of us, man, we really can't do what everybody else do. Me personally, I'm just here to tell you, I came to that realization, man. I can't do what everybody else do, man. I tried. You know what I'm saying? And I got, like, still got, links to people, man, from the past and, like, growing up, like, as far as, like, different, like, from relatives to it's like homies or whatever you want to, like the guys and, to just people I know from all kind of different kind of settings in life. And some I know, like, be like, man, what's, they won't, some people, sometimes you got people that they can't understand why you won't want to do what they want to do. Like, come on, we over here, we over there, let's do this, let's do that. They can't understand, like, why he don't really, like, what's wrong with her? Like, why she ain't really tapping in? Like And I had to come to conclude, tell you why I can't do what everybody else do, man. You see what I'm saying? Look at the people who tried to, who stayed in on paths and who stayed in a world that didn't belong to them. When I say a world, we already understand what that world is, right? Because we all out here in different worlds within ourselves. What it means to be in the world, not other world. So when I realized like I can't, it made me have, it's a difference between you got to know when to stand down, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to know when to stand down, man. So I had years ago. No, this came to me years ago because I had different, and I'm gonna go into some of these stories and other videos and testify to y'all, man. Like some things, man. But and I give glory to the Most High God. That's who I believe in, right? The Most High God, I believe that's something that's in me, and I'm tied to it. But it's in me and around me. So it's like different parts of it. Like it ain't just in me, but it's external from me too. Like it's in me, but at the same time it goes ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, we get back to that. But I had to realize, hey man, when I did what other people do, I ended up in situations like that were just like, I'm like, man, I can't. And when I was younger, like younger, right? I'm still young. But when I was younger, doing or participating in certain things, I didn't really catch on to these. I just thought I was just, it was part of life, part of trying stuff and doing stuff, right? But the more I mature, the more I get older, the more I age, the more I mature, I realize, like, man, it was never, I could never really completely be fulfilled in no form of completion on this path or that path. It wasn't gonna happen. If I would have stayed on that would have killed me. If I would have stayed here, this would have happened. Well, I can't really predict my own, fate, but I'm saying like I realized that I wasn't gonna be able to stay on certain paths. And then I have the evidence. The evidence is we can go down the list again, man. Some of y'all probably think like, oh no, this happened to Dolph. No, this happened to Nip. No, this happened to this. Why Jesus did like no, y'all ain't even really peeping it. I'm talking about from the gang chiefs to whatever you talking about. Like it don't like they all many of them tried. They like some of them like man, I'm gonna go this way. It's like, man, I'm gonna use my talent. I'm gonna take my gifts on the road. I'm gonna take my show on the road. This like you can't do what everybody else do. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm showing you in the scripture. What I wanted to share with you in the scripture is talk about how like we not only different, but it gave us examples of like some of this, some of this, that, some of for this glory, some of that. Meaning like you belong to a certain like vine almost. You know what I'm saying? If we was like trees, you'd be like connected to a certain vine that if you keep trying to get off that vine, what happened to a branch if it's no longer connected to that vine? See what I'm saying? So it's almost like your creator and our creator is so understanding and loving and patient. It allow you to go on, get your feet wet, but it's gonna kind of like get you off the path. If you notice most people, man, listen to what I'm saying, man. Like most guys, girls, just say for example, you can even go back to Left Eye and all of them, right? When they begin to like realize they was different and I gotta do something different, that's when boom. You see what I'm saying? In the field that they was in, because they was on that path. You gotta, they was already in the entertainment business. Some of them already tied into the mob. They already tied to the streets they already got this beef going or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Or if you pay attention to listen to their interviews, their testimonies, you know what I'm saying? Look at Pac. He was like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to do Death Row East. He's bad, y'all. Y'all believe in God, come over here. Hold on, buddy. You see what I'm saying? So all I'm telling you, man, is we can't sometimes, man, I came to realization I can't do what everybody else do, man. You know what I'm saying? And that do create judgment. That do make people think something wrong with you. That do make people define you in so many different ways, man. Like, you know, who cares though? I'd rather be at peace with God, right? The Most High God, I'd rather be at peace with the Most High God and the world be ops. You know what I'm saying? Than the other way around, man. And I want y'all to think about that. Some of y'all are uniquely created different for a reason, man. And it's not just you just different and better than nobody, man. Many of us have the same common passion, man. We like to help people. We feed off light. It fulfills us. We really bask in light. Some of you gonna watch this video all the way to the end. Some of you gonna like you know how it goes. Some people really ain't. I'm talking about the ones who really like that, like really like that. You know, all these people we talking about, the list goes on. They was really like that. They was really like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, because once we into something, we passionate. Instead of passionate, we have a passion. That's a fruit. That's almost like a fruit of the spirit, in a sense. I would say, passion. You get real passionate about certain stuff, right? So I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I just thought about it, man. I'm like, man, I don't make this video too long, but I'm like, man, I just can't do what everybody else do, man. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of been known that, but it just really, really, really got to a place now where it's like, I mean, it's at a place now where I'm like, man, I ain't really even trying to. I ain't trying to really like, and I hope that all of you have already realized to go, that it's something more significant that you called to do. And it ain't just about getting no bunch of money and pooping on people. You know what I'm saying? I think it's you called to kind of like change the world for the better. To be like nutrient, to be like in some form of fashion for the survival of the world around you. You know what I'm saying? Realize this, man, like, we not all the same, man. We not all the same, man. It's bigger than just, you know what I'm saying, the mediocrity of mankind. I had a buddy who used to kind of like, he was old school, man. He was in the county like on a cold case. He was gone 25 years. He used to always tell me like, man, the problem with our people, man, is they feel to rise above the mediocrity of mankind, man. It's way bigger sometimes than we know. And then some of us out there know to a certain extent they know some things. But I looked at it. If you committed your talents to the streets and you was one of them, can't stay over there. I got cousins, I got pictures, I got guys, I know people who took their talents, their gifts, and was like, fuck it, it's all about the hood. It's about the guys and keeping the unit, the gang, and all that. That didn't work for them. If they was one of them, remember, it said all flesh not the same. There's one kind of flesh of men, another of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. There are also celestial bodies. Bodies are terrestrial, but the glory of celestial is one, the glory of terrestrial is another. There's one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, another glory of the stars. For one star different from another star in glory. So you believe it or not, I'm telling you, man. You know what I mean? It's one. We all split up in so many different. We got so much different stuff going on, and we feel like some of us feel like we could be gang members. Some of us feel like we could be rappers, and you can't do like I tell you. He gonna let you make a choice, but if you belong, like I feel like the creator in some ways he'll come get a person like if you find you drifting like on a certain way, like you going a certain way, you're gonna have to. Man, I know some of the best of them, bro. I came up ran with some of the best of them. You talking about greatness, man. I seen God on the block, bro. I seen God in so many different settings in life, man. Wisdom truly cries out loud in the streets too, man. You can't do any when you created for us, depending on what created you or what you come from. You just can't go like commit your life to this or that. You're gonna have to commit your life to something productive, man. It's gonna have to be something productive where your creator can use you in. It can't be just you somewhere flagging and having all this money and pooping on people. Like, that ain't necessarily gonna. To the next video, man. You special, man. But you special to do special things in the world, not just to be special, but to for yourself, but to be special to the world, to do special things for the world around you, to be a co-creator in the creativeness that's necessary for the survival and salvation of the world around you, man. Even when it comes to relationships, even when it comes to love, some of y'all like, well, just some of y'all might want to be peas. Well, I want to just go have a lot of girls, and if you wanted them, you just can't even go out there and just be like messing with a whole bunch of different girls, man. I mean, you can. I'm gonna keep saying recant that statement. You got a choice to do these things, but I'm saying like, watch it, because if you wanted them, depending on what you come from, what you build, like it might, you know what I'm saying. There's certain challenges and stuff will come with that, because it's like some smacking your hand to, oh, get out of there. Because when you understand who you are, you can't just, you see what I'm saying? You could do a lot of things. You can get started and you can get going, but where it's gonna take you, you know? Just think about it. Some of y'all feel like y'all royal and y'all, you know, if you feel like this for real, then you just can't go putting your seed anywhere. Same thing with a woman. If you feel like this, it's certain things you're gonna have to choose wisely on how you move out here. You know what I'm saying? So many different things, man. When you realize, man, we not all the same, man. And if you find yourself unevenly yoked with different people or paths, you know, that yoke gonna have to get cut off. You know what I'm saying? Cut up off you, man. So, anywho, man, I really appreciate y'all time, like hanging out with y'all. We're gonna definitely get into like, we're gonna start really building into this thought process that's gonna really take on the world of its own. I'm just taking it a day at a time. We just getting warmed up so we can build up, man. And I'm going to it. We're gonna get off into it, man. But I need y'all to know you can't do what everybody else do, man. You are chosen. You are created uniquely. I mean, you are uniquely and peculiarly made. Know that. Abundance is your birthright. And all that. But to the next video, peace, positivity, optimism, power. I know you like to hear the abundance part.